For those creepy stalkers, people, if you don't ever do a reel or you don't ever do a live, you don't know that who your audience is. But the people that are actually doing it, they can actually see that you're looking at their shit without you responding. You know that, right? So
Yeah.
But they don't know that because they never did a live reel, nor did
Right.
did a post, so
People-
they wouldn't know. So
Yeah.
guys that are still stalking, stop stalking, man. Because these girls, they be talking about y'all.
They don't realize.
They
what
don't even realize that the girls know that you guys are watching them. He just looked like he was very skinny and looking like he was enjoying life way too much. So when an attractive woman walks by you, do you just like...
I get stuck in awe, mesmerized in their, beauty. Just, watching them.
looking like a pervert
Yeah.
sometimes?
Well, binoculars on, like, sheesh.
To do some type of drugs and stuff, right? And I tell you, describe what you like about it. Can you really tell me besides the it makes me feel good and what makes it feel good?
Well, ecstasy I've done.
Yeah, and what makes it feel good?
What makes it feel good? Instead of trying to chase a high, buy something, a drug, or do something, whatever, just normally practice that positive routine that you got going on for yourself. And I feel like that would definitely counteract that. But if you set yourself up for failure, like they say, more often than not, then you're going to fail. But you got to choose wisely, I feel like, your habits, your good habits in your day-to-day. Because if you're not busy enough and you have free time, you dabble into this world, that world, whatever this dude's doing. He could be doing meth, he could be gambling, and you're not recognizing that these are bad for you, you're going to get lost in it probably.
Food never tastes the same the first time around. It's that dopamine very good the first time. And the second time you try the meal, it might not be as good unless you give it detox, unless you stay away from that food for a couple months or whatever it might be. They say dopamine can reset itself roughly about like, on average 4 to 5 days. So if you don't like watching what we have today, watch it 4 days from now. Maybe you'll like it.
Yeah, but working out though, like my brother, he never worked out a day in his life. I've been trying to motivate him to do it. I bought the gym membership for him, everything. But it's just, you have to know, like, everybody's motivation to work out is different. White America was scared of the Chinese influx coming in from China, people stealing jobs or whatever. So they made MSG a bad label. That's what my recollection of that is. And then they tried to persuade people not to mess with Chinese people because all the food was MSG related. They had MSG and all that shit. Yeah, remember to like, subscribe, get addicted to that. But
We're waiting.
anytime, any second. It takes like 2 seconds to go up there.
Yes. Right there. Yeah, you want to do it. It's cool. You're driving. Wait until you pull over.
Something productive that we can kind of
Give us
off
something
of.
to live for. You just got a message from your doctor. I said, oh yeah? And then she goes, yeah, it's saying it's urgent. Please call back. The last 6-7 months has been horrific for me. You guys Google DHEAS levels. Mine was elevated to like 550, 600. So when you have elevated levels like that, it's either one, Dr. Google says it's a tumor, or two, it's cancer. So I had it about 555, 600. 700 to 800 is cancer. Welcome to the Vietnamese Coffee Shop. I'm your host, Jimmy.
Carter here. What's up, everybody? Been a minute. Hope everybody's good.
Yes. Hope everyone is doing well. How are you doing, Carter?
Chilling. I'm all right. How are you?
Any more golf swings since last time we spoke?
Yeah, man. I finally got on the course. Now it's just time to dial it in. Work with a trainer or something to get it right before I blow out my back again.
So here's the thing, right? If you start right the very first time, then it's gonna be all uphill from there. But if you mess up by just doing what you think is right, you're gonna have to learn how to recorrect that, and that's the problem too. You built a bad habit.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I've listed I signed up for a couple lessons, but
How much are lessons?
a few hundred. like 400. I got lesson. I stumbled upon this lesson at PGA Tour store. I was just in there stargazing or whatever, window shopping, and then they had lessons. So yeah, I signed up, but the freaking golf instructor called in sick on me, like, and it takes like 2 weeks just to get on his schedule, and then he called in sick. So now I'm another week out. So next Friday will be my first session. I got 6 lessons for $400.
6 lessons for $400.
Yeah, it's not bad.
And how long are these hours?
It's 45-minute lessons. 45
man,
minutes.
We need to quit our day job and be a golf instructor, man.
Man.
That's been good money.
Yeah, man, it's a great hobby to get into. So
Yo,
a lot of people would definitely pay to get it right, like myself, and not mess up, your back and all that.
Well,
Cheers.
Here's to
Cheers,
continue
y'all.
on that new hobby. Don't quit on it.
Yeah, man.
One day we might see you on a PGA tour, right?
Yeah, man. You
Swinging
never
next
know.
to Steph Curry or Cheetah Woods. Oh, he's done. He's done, right?
Cheetah Woods.
Yeah, he's no longer Tiger Woods. He's Cheetah Woods.
Oh, he
now,
cheated now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He probably like a little pussycat now. No tiger.
No, I heard
more.
that he did he retire from the sport? I mean, I saw some headlines, but I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I seen a little clip where he was like limping off the Masters or something like that. Like just happened a few months ago, I think. So I think he's kind of like toning it down right now because his body is
Telling them no.
not taking it well. And Tiger, coming to find out after I got my back injury from swinging too much, he got like 5 back surgeries after people just started telling me that, like, even Tiger gets like, go too hard. So it's definitely something. It's a great hobby, but if you don't know what you're doing, you could definitely injure yourself. So
Did you check out your? I think was it your disc that you find out if you slipped your disc?
well, yeah. So I went to go see my doctor, my regular doctor. What you call that?
Physician.
Yeah, my physician.
Yeah.
And he himself is a golfer, and he loves sports too, growing up too. So he's about 50-something right now. And he was just telling me, like, don't worry about that. I mean, if you want, you can get the picture if you want to look at it, but I know exactly your situation. You just overdid it, Spending 2 hours a day back to back, that's way too much stress on your back. And me being a beginner, I don't know what the hell I'm doing out there. So overly extended my back probably or something like that. And it was just like, don't worry about it. You just need some rest, and you'll get back in the groove no time. So which was a week, 2 weeks, slowly creeping back up. And now my workouts changed. So my workouts is kind of evolved around my golf swing in a sense. So
Oh, you back at the
building,
gym?
yeah, I'm trying to build up my muscles and stuff now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
How long you been back?
I'm going once a week now. It's baby steps, man. I'm going once a week, put in a little session, and gradually get into 2 to 3 to 4, and
The goal is to get to
slowly.
3 to 4 days at least.
yeah, I mean,
yeah,
more than half the week. So I probably try to aim for 4 at
So
least.
did you skip leg day?
Man, I don't skip leg day at all because
So you do leg day once a week?
I do leg day every day. So my job, I'm constantly walking and moving around. I'm working on the field. So
What is it that you do again?
right now, I just started working for a ERCS system. ERCS system. That's what they call it. It's like an emergency response system. We put in place our system into commercial buildings, I guess, in a sense. It's kind of mandated nowadays, ever since 9/11 happened, where they couldn't reach a lot of people inside the building to get them out. So now, that kind of opened up our line of business to where we install these antennas and receivers so that in case of an emergency was to happen,
People can actually dial out from their cell phone.
they will automatically reach the emergency responders. Emergency responders specifically will have like at least a 48-hour window of that building in case anything was to happen. Okay, so there's a fire, right? Our system is put in place inside a 48-hour perimeter or building, or like inside the building. So everything's 2-hour rated. So I mean 48-hour rated, I believe.
Sorry, I'm lost. I don't.
I'm lost myself. I'm brand new to this, so it's.
I'm trying to figure out what the 48 hours have to do with them saving my life. It's like, wait, it's gonna take me 48 hours for them to respond? Or?
So like if the house is on fire, the building is on fire. That building, or the part of our system is located inside that building, will withstand the fire and damage for 48 hours. So that once boom, that the signal sends to our receiver, there's a fire going on in the building.
Okay.
We shoot out a signal to the emergency responders, and that signal will keep getting shot out and back.
Okay, so the signal will survive for 48 hours, but everyone else in the building would be dead.
Unless they go inside that building, yeah.
Got it.
Inside that area.
So the building is saved. We
The
save
room.
buildings, but we don't save people.
The room, you know.
Yeah.
So the people save people, man. So you know.
I mean, you would hope so.
It's an important trade, I guess, or job, definitely, that we keep this in place for future tragic issues or events or something. But yeah, it's definitely something good to do. It's a cool job. I don't have to bring my job home, so you know that's always a plus. Go in, do my thing, and call it a day. So
Yeah, I mean, for some people, they don't want to bring their work home, and then now, since COVID happened, you know, a lot of people are working from home, so technically they don't even feel like they left their house, and that could actually take a mental toll on a lot of people.
yeah, definitely. I'd be jumping off the walls if I was in the house 24 hours. So I'm a what you call it, extrovert, I guess. So I'm always out. I can't stay in no building or my house for over 24 hours. I go crazy probably too.
Right, you would think that there was a plus side, you know, of working from home if you were to have kids and stuff, but people don't understand that when you have children, you don't want to be around them when you're working.
Yeah.
They drive you crazy. They don't
Yeah.
stop bugging you.
They don't know where that line is at, right? So
They don't know. You just tell them, like, hey, mommy's working, daddy's working, and then they just don't understand it. And they just see that you, as soon as you're quiet, that means, oh, you're free.
yeah.
You know, but if your hands aren't moving or your eyes ain't moving, then you're free. So they're constantly hungry. They're constantly asking permission for certain things. The only time that you get for yourself is when you feed them some snacks and get them to be quiet. Other than that, I mean, it's not that. How do I say it?
It's not a luxury.
Luxury
It's not a luxury for sure.
compared to being in the office.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, from
Or
the
being out in the
stories-
field, whatever.
Yeah, from the stories. Well, yeah, I love being outside. So you know what I'm saying. The touch of the sun is definitely amazing. I did the office work before. Worked at a law firm, just pushing paper. But that was like you wake up every day, you see the same people. It's like definitely like you're a robot for sure, and you just pushing paper, doing your thing, and you clock in, clock out. Go in when the sun's
Wait,
down.
I remember this now. Were you a paralegal at one point?
Nah, I was just a file clerk. Pushing to see, you know, I was like early 20s.
I remember you worked at that office, but not that long, right? It was a couple months.
Nah, it was 2 years.
Was it
fool.
2 years?
Yeah, fool.
Oh, damn, time flies by.
I was putting in work. Yeah, but you know that was nor here nor there now because I mean I don't even like anything to do with the office. So, but yeah, it was a cool position, easy to get into, and just to see if my mind would wrap itself around being towards that type of career. I was thinking about doing paralegal work maybe or whatever, but nah, it ain't for me. It's just too much. I don't even like the office like that. So yeah, to each their own, man. So you know, since COVID, it was like people were just saying like that's the true testament of your relationship right there. How can you withstand your partner, your life partner, the whole time? So it definitely worked its toll on people. Definitely having your kids at home, like not able to go to school, no babysitter.
Your wife at home, your spouse at home, your mother-in-law at home.
Oh man.
So during COVID, a lot of people don't know this that my mother-in-law ended up staying here because during that time there was so she's from Hong Kong, and the Hong Kong protests. You remember that
Yeah.
when they were protesting against China and I guess fighting for democracy, and that after that situation happened, COVID happened,
Mm.
and she was supposed to visit. Mom, if you're watching, I'm not talking about. I'm not saying anything bad, Mom. I'm just explaining
Just keeping it
that
real.
that
It's all peace and love in
it's
here.
no, I love you to death. Just so but it's complicated. I mean, if someone had told you, hey, when you get married, you're gonna move in with your mother-in-law, not one, not two, but a couple years, right? How would you feel about that? Before you pop the question, would you still pop the question knowing that?
I mean, you have to understand that this is how the life circulates, I guess. That's how life circulates. At the end of the day, you will end up taking care of your parents
No,
because they would need you to. Like
I
how
love
they
her to
took care
death. Don't get me
of
wrong.
you,
She
you
was
know?
the best mother-in-law I could ever ask for. She was really helping around the house. It's just, when you're trapped in a bubble and you can't leave the house because of COVID, right? Like, think about, I don't know how you felt when you left the house during COVID, but I'm the man in the house, right? And technically, anything that I'm front line. When I used to go grocery shopping, man, I literally would. When I left the house, I put on my N95 mask. I wanted to put on some goggles. This is in the very beginning, by the way. No one knew nothing about what was going out there, right?
Yeah.
Every single time I left that house, I felt like it was the last time I was going to see my kids. All right, guys,
Yeah,
I'm going grocery shopping right now.
It's definitely scarce times, man.
If I don't make it back, man, take care of my dog for me. And that's how I really felt at one point. Like, you were making a sacrifice for the family. And we were in this bubble, and yeah, I don't even know when we escaped the bubble, realistically.
It's definitely like a
after
movie.
after the vaccines and stuff like that, then we kind of, lighten up the mood a little quick. But COVID was definitely a memorable journey. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think for our generation and for for our generation, that's probably the toughest times we went through. Probably.
Right. That's what I was feeling. We didn't even go to war. We were at war with an invisible enemy.
We were always at war though, but we never feel the wars that we're in.
Right. If you're saying it like from that perspective.
Oh yeah.
But what I'm saying is that's something that we can all kind of relate to. Right. Everybody had that story, their own struggles. And I got plenty of stories about COVID, but I'm not going to get into that. Man, we are 20 minutes in right now. We didn't even get to the subject. Okay, everybody. Today, what are we going to talk about? What are we talking about today?
I don't even know what the subject is.
The subject? You're supposed to do your homework.
Yeah, excuse me, y'all. I'm just a free-flowing butterfly.
He's,
I just like to pop
He's
in.
over here freestyling like he's a
freestyling,
rapper.
Huh. Natural off the dome.
Okay. We're going to talk about butt crack today. Go ahead, freestyle it.
Yeah, it's a tough sight, but it can be a funny sight. It could make your day, even though it's the horrible, most ugliest thing you ever seen. But it can make your day and make you laugh, right? So it could bring some humor into your life. So it's definitely good.
Let's talk about some voluptuous booty then.
Oh man, it's called not voluptuous booty. It's called bootyful. I always had that in my back pocket. I was like, it's such a beautiful day when I used to joke around with my boys.
Oh,
Like,
okay. I thought you said it to women for a second.
Nah,
I was like, hey, you a
hell no.
slide dog.
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't pull that one off.
So when an attractive woman walks by you, do you just like?
I get stuck in awe. Just
Is there any time you couldn't resist and you had to speak up and say something? Besides your wife, that is.
speak of it, say so. I don't know. I don't think so. I just be stuck in awe, man. Sometimes just enjoying the visualization.
Your all face.
Yeah.
The all face.
I don't like doing the all face, but I just be mesmerized in their, beauty. Just, watching them.
Looking like a pervert
Yeah,
sometimes.
with binoculars on, like, sheesh.
Hey, where did that term come from? I've been hearing it a lot.
I don't know, rappers, I guess, or just the rap culture, hip hop culture. They've been doing it in their videos and stuff, and it's just
Yeah, sorry guys. I've
naturally.
been in the cave for the past 7, 8 years now. So
Yeah.
no hip hop, no. I mean, it's gonna sound funny to most people, but I haven't done social media for the last 4 years since COVID. Yeah, it's kind of strange. So I'm currently on Facebook right now, but I literally have to feel like I have to force myself to be on there, you know. And I used to have an addiction for social media, so I had to, like, I didn't taper off. I just cut it off completely. But it's kind of messed up, is because it's not like I don't have love for people and I don't have to spend the time to go like people's posts and stuff like that. But it just brings me down the rabbit hole. And here I am asking you guys for a like and subscribe. If you like our content, please remember to click like and subscribe.
And that notification bell. Ding ding. Yes, please.
We're waiting on you. Go ahead.
Like right now. Right now.
Go ahead.
Time ticking. Did it yet?
Any second now.
Come on. I'm gonna take it. Move your hand. Bam. That's it. Trying to take over the world now. We need your help.
Thank you.
Yay.
You know, but
So
for
please
myself,
hit that.
for myself, I banned myself from social media is because I get stuck in it. Like, I go down the rabbit hole, and I can't do that. I got a lot of responsibilities. I got stuff to take care of, so I just have to eliminate that completely. So if I don't like your post or don't like your, whatever it is, it's not because I'm not paying attention. Well, it is because I'm not paying attention, first of all. But it's not like because I don't want to not pay attention. It's just I have to know what my bad habits are and steer away from it until I'm ready.
Yeah, people don't realize like the power of that like button. That's
Oh
why
yeah. Let's talk about that for a
they,
second.
They changed the game. People were getting insecure with their profile, and I'm one of them too. So
You know what's funny? I really want you to talk about that, is because I had an interesting conversation with him about that not so long ago. And I never saw it from his perspective. Because I avoid social media and I don't really like people's posts. But it's not because I don't like what they have to say or their photos or acknowledge what they're doing. It's just for myself, I just never thought that it was that big of a deal to a point where people would treasure it that much. But he has some truth behind it, because recently it wasn't until recently where I kind of felt discouraged to do the podcast, is because we weren't getting our likes or our subscribers. And at one point it felt very discouraging, talking to a camera and not having any type of engagement, right?
yeah, definitely, man. I mean, like I said, I was too blamed for this too, because I kind of did a little PSA on Instagram Live or something like that. So I kind of went all in with poker at one moment in my life. And then I'm seeing I went all in basically. So I went down to I played at the local tournaments.
Okay, so you're
casinos.
actually talking about a poker game that you went live. What do you mean by went live?
No, I went live with my little PSA announcement, my public service announcement about
You went live
Instagram.
on Facebook? Oh, Instagram.
Instagram, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm over here trying to hype myself up and tell people to send me, little emojis or something. Just send me luck, right? Just a natural little thing. Like I'm just talking to my friends, right? That's what I do. So on Instagram, I was just like, yeah, I'm about to go into this tournament. Wish me luck, blah blah blah. Send me some, some emojis, some 4-leaf clover emojis or something, right?
Were you serious about it when you're doing it?
Well, no, I was just doing that as a joke, as a
Okay.
nonchalant thing.
You're not superstitious, are you?
No,
Okay.
no. Well, to a certain extent, but gotta have a little belief in everything, I guess. But anyway,
But that like button was gonna give you some motivation, in a sense.
yeah,
That's what you were kind of searching for.
yeah. So this is in the beginning of like social media, I guess, for me, and then it was just like, why do I see all of my friends looking at my posts but not even giving me a like button, or You know what I mean?
See, I have a question about that. It wasn't so. I've never went live.
Yeah.
I've never did a reel
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So I have no experience in that. And somebody had told me, for those creepy stalkers, this is a shout out for you guys. People, if you don't ever do a reel or you don't ever do a live, you don't know that who your audience is. But the people that are actually doing it, they can actually see that you're looking at their shit without you responding. You know that, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
But they don't know that because they never did a live reel, nor did
Right,
did a post, so
people-
they wouldn't know. So
Yeah.
guys that are still stalking, stop stalking, man, because these girls they be talking about y'all. You
Yeah.
better stop with that shit.
They don't realize.
They
what
don't even realize that the girls know that you guys are watching them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
And
like,
that's the funny part.
yeah. So I'm watching all these people that watch my stuff, but they're not sending me any love about it. Like, no good luck. Hey, you know, because a lot of my friends are sending me that too, but a lot of them aren't. So that's what it just made me think. Like, so I went on a little rant, and I was just like, why y'all even follow me if y'all can't even be supportive of me doing what I'm doing right now? Because I was in Vegas, I was joining all these tournaments trying to make it or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't get it. So what do you guys follow me for? So I just asked them. We just went on a little live recording. So I was like, but I am thankful for the ones that did send me the praise and best wishes or whatever in my endeavors. But anyway, it's just like there's so many people out there that's just not noticing or not understanding that these
These things go a long way.
it shouldn't play that role for me too.
It shouldn't, but it was a long
But
way.
like I said, at that time, you know, I just felt like I needed that from them, and I was just looking at so many people watching my stuff, but just not liking my stuff.
So you hear that, guys?
So I'm
we
like-
need y'all support right now. Just hit
I'm like,
that
how?
like button.
Why you guys aren't supporting me? You know, it doesn't make sense. So I was like, why don't you just unfollow me?
Let us
'Cause
know that you're out there.
Yeah, because I figure if you're following me, you're my friend. I would suggest. I would think.
You would
and,
like
I would
to
like.
think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, so why not? But it's natural thing. It's like I was trying to tell Jimmy the other time he was talking about our YouTube channel is not being liked, but so many people are watching it. But I was like, oh, don't be discouraged by that. It's just people I go on social media to escape reality and just have fun with it, right? And look at comedy and whatever, just to laugh and get away from reality in a sense. That's what I do it for. So I feel like a lot of people do it for that too. That same reason. So when they get on, I was telling Jimmy, it's like, man, you could look at the most popular YouTubers, social media talent out there. And
Yo, I ain't gonna lie too. Like Joe Rogan, I like him, but I don't even like any of his videos.
yeah,
So I'm guilty of that.
He's
too.
like has like 1 billion subscribers and like he'll probably get like 5,000 likes. You know, so it's just people just don't understand that concept of how
maybe
you can
like 500,000.
how you can
likes
show
or something.
support to your
local community.
your person that you're watching that you enjoy, or your local friend that's trying to do some podcast or show on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To like it could be like two Vietnamese guys. You know what I'm saying?
in
That
the Bay
drink
Area,
coffee.
drinking
you know?
coffee, talking about,
Yeah.
you know. And you know what we kind of like, but we're not really like? We're like that drunk uncle that rants about life all the time, but we're not drunk. Instead, we started a podcast.
Yeah. I don't have that uncle, but
Well-
I guess I could see somebody else as that. But yeah.
I can see plenty of my buddies being that uncle.
I could be that uncle for sure. Because when I get at my nieces, I'll be trying to.
There you go then.
I be trying to put them on game, you know what I'm saying? But they don't
Yeah,
understand the point.
You don't have
yet
that
because
drunk
they're
uncle
not-
because you are that drunk
Yeah,
uncle.
they're not grown yet to understand like the game I'm trying to give them. Like my oldest niece, she was really
How old is your oldest niece?
she's a sophomore in college now.
Oh, okay.
So
So
back
she's
in like junior
20.
high school, I was like trying to prep her and like give her some games so she couldn't make any mistakes and try to avoid some
And
situations.
what did Uncle Carter say to his niece?
I felt like she was very attentive back then, like in middle school.
And now she gives zeros.
Now she gives zero attention to me, so it's
That's
sad.
so sad feeling.
I'm always crying, Kayleen,
Mm.
that we don't have
Yeah,
that moment
Kayleen.
anymore. I used to take her out, go movies, lunch, dinner, whatever. We used to chop it up,
Now he's just all by himself and
Now
just
I'm
snacking
just
on a sandwich
all
in
alone.
the corner.
looking at the walls, But I'll be all right.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well. Anyway, but yeah, man, it's we have to be this person to our next generation, and in order for them to do better and succeed further from us, right? You know, that we always have to teach our younger generations to do better because we had a game. And like the younger generation now, I wouldn't say nowadays, but it's just, it comes with the right time.
Well, a
for
lot of
them.
people won't listen until they're going through it, right? So hopefully
Yeah.
one day this podcast or future episodes could impact or have somebody self-reflect a little bit and make better choices in life, and don't live by the, or don't have to learn by the lessons we had to learn on our own. So
Yeah, I mean, like, we just got to be more involved with definitely our younger generation, of course, because, you know, that's our duty as a human race, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay,
yeah.
so enough rambling. We're gonna get to the subject. Today we are going to be talking about addiction.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay, addiction. Okay.
I gave him a homework assignment last week, and I told him to look up who's that guy?
Posty.
Post Malone. He surfaced the internet with a very viral video. I believe he was in another country, and somebody recorded him on the street. And to me, he just looked like my neighborhood crackhead. You know. Oh, you know what? Let me take that back. Somebody might get offended. So what I meant to say was, he looked like my neighborhood crackhead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of live that life. And
Yeah,
it's just kinda like
so,
what we see. So.
Yeah, I don't care anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in the Tenderloin, and there's nothing but crackheads in my neighborhood. When I was growing up, crackheads were a dime a dozen. They didn't bother me. We didn't bother, and we share stories when we see each other. It's not offensive, and we call them crackheads, and they accept it. It's not really a big deal because
It is what it is.
Yeah,
They are. They
when
know
you
who
live
they
it,
are.
you own it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
you definitely got to own who you are.
Yeah,
so.
it's not a. I don't believe there's a stigma attached to that word. It's just whatever to me, you know. I be doing crackhead shit all the time too. I don't lie. We had our fair share of substance abuse and whatnot. With his situation, what did you learn? Because I didn't do the research behind it. I just kind of gave you that article.
I didn't learn too much. I mean, I always respected Post Malone as an artist, on and off, because I seen him at concerts too, and how he acts around when off the camera, I guess, on concerts. He seemed like a really cool dude, genuine dude, humble, nice.
Yeah, he seems like a very nice guy.
From the talk shows I saw him on. But after you told me about that, I looked it up, and yeah, people were saying like he lost a lot of weight, apparently. And I talked to my wife about it, and I guess she saw the news as well, and supposedly he was out there, he might be taking a diabetes pill, supposedly. And this diabetes pill makes you lose weight. Even though you don't have diabetes, you could take it.
Oh.
Or people are taking it, supposedly, and they're losing a lot of weight from it.
Right.
So that could be one thing that he's been doing. That's why he lost so much weight. And people are, of course, so quick to jump to conclusions about him like not being
So
healthy.
those who are
maybe.
not familiar with diabetes, it's when your blood sugar level spikes, right? And your glucose levels are not regulated properly. So sometimes you take insulin medication to lower your insulin levels, because once your insulin level is high, I think it's fat secretion. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but you can get overweight a lot easier. So there's that. What is that word I'm looking for? That connection with type 2 diabetes, with obesity as well. So when you take these medication, some people, like during pregnancy as well, they actually stop eating a lot of sugars and all that stuff like that. So you start to lose a lot of weight. And the thing is that Post Malone, everybody knows that he was a little bit on the heavier set side.
Yeah.
And then now, when he loses weight and he's supposed to look the way he's supposed to look, then everyone calls him a crackhead.
Yeah.
You know, me myself included. No, but really, it wasn't me calling him a cracker for fun. It was I just wanted to crack a bad joke. But I don't know. I don't know anything about his situation. He just looked like he was very skinny and looking like he was enjoying life way too much when he was just, on that video.
Well, and I mean, realistically, we're only supposed to be one weight. You know, your true weight. You know, is you're supposed to be
What's your true weight? What does that mean?
nicely portioned.
Your BMI index. So you want to look up your proportional size to weight and height ratio. Look up body mass index.
Ideally,
Yeah.
you know, from doctor's point of view. I'm not gonna say this. I'm gonna say it's from the doctor's point of view because they're worried about what's going on internally in your body. So when you're overly doing something and putting into your body, it's gonna show by increasing your weight, one, and all the other stuff that goes on to in your blood. You know what I'm saying? Like your high blood pressure. There's diabetes. There's all these other things that it trickles down to. So yeah, ideally you want to be a certain weight for your height and your age, right? Which is the healthiest, you know. So you don't have these other issues go on later in life and current in life. Because I have high cholesterol, and I blamed it on COVID too, because during COVID, I guess I wasn't working out as much as I was before, so I wasn't able to sweat that out. So I was intaking a lot of bad food, not realizing it because it was COVID. I was just whatever. And then a year later, I finally got my physical done because everything shut down. So I just blew it off. I wait another year because I get it every year. So once I did that, and then immediately that was the thing. And I noticed because every other day I was probably eating fried chicken wings during COVID. So it makes a lot of sense how bad I was eating and how my high cholesterol spiked up. So now I'm dealing with that, and they just give me a pill to, I guess, kind of suppress it and bring it back down to the right levels or whatever. Because, yeah, if it gets too high, I could die. End up having a blood clot, stroke.
So I'm going to talk a little bit about cholesterol because I understand just very little because I know somebody that had high cholesterol, double the amount of whatever the allowed weight would be, the borderline. So let's just say if it was 100, like he or she was at 200, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to just do a little research, and there was a connection with, there was a book, I remember it was called it was by Jason Fung. It's called The Obesity Code. I think I'm referring to that book. I'm not sure where I got this information from, but it's somewhere along the lines of that. The high cholesterol is regulated through the body's, I don't know what exactly it is that regulates the cholesterol. I can't say right off the top of my head, but they found a connection with high cholesterol and injuries amongst old people. So a lot of old people were falling at one point in their lives, and they didn't realize that it was the cause of high cholesterol. There was actually like a study with frozen shoulder too as well. You guys can Google that up and see whatever comes.
What is that? Frozen shoulder?
Frozen shoulder. So, a lot of us, we don't stretch a lot, and we're not as, I guess what's the right word? Immobile, as we would like to be. And the thing about Asian people, right? We have something where our rotator cuffs, I have a torn rotator cuff, so I had this, I don't know, diagnosed with the doctor, and they saw the MRI, and they said that it was just my anatomy, that my bone was cutting into my rotator cuff. So the rotator cuff is held on by I believe 4 muscles, and 3 of those muscles were torn during this time back in 2019 when I had this, and they wanted me to do some surgery. So what they would do is they would cut open the muscle belly, and then they would re-stitch it back up, and then it would take about 5 to 6 months for me to heal. So that's not even 100%, but that was something where I didn't want to do at that time because I was planning on traveling to Vietnam and having an open wound when you're traveling. It wasn't worth the time, so I just never went around getting it done. So with that being said, my rotator cuff was torn and it healed improperly, so now I'm restricted to do certain things. And I also have high cholesterol too as well, but I'm not saying that's the reason. But they say that there's a connection with high cholesterol when plaque buildup with injuries. So be aware of that as well. The proof is in the pudding. You can look up all the research behind it too, and just be extra careful, because high cholesterol can lead to cardiac disease, heart disease, and then it can lead to strokes, and then you can't figure out what the hell happened with you, and you think it's your diet, or you think it's something that you ate or whatever it might be. But the human body is pretty smart. It knows how to regulate a certain thing, but when there's a problem like an injury, then it's something that sometimes overlooked, and you won't know until you're on your deathbed.
Yeah, probably highly probable. I had lost a older brother to not by blood, but by having a brain aneurysm. So I looked up immediately what causes a brain aneurysm, and that was high blood pressure. High blood pressure can be caused by high intake of sodium, right? So I definitely related and looked at how he went about his eating process, I guess you could say. So whenever he ate, he always oversauced everything. He loved eating like extra fish sauce, extra soy sauce. His bowl would be just drenched in sodium, if you just think about it, right? So I was like, just trying to put one and one together. I don't know how well he was going about his knowledge on his internal body, like going to the doctor and getting checked out. But from what I hear, he rarely went. He didn't want to know, kind of thing. That's what I heard. But yeah, and that led up to him on his death certificate having a brain aneurysm, which exploded or popped and caused him to pass away. And he was 41. So yeah, and then going back to your frozen shoulder, my mom had 3 surgeries on that exact thing. I'm pretty sure it's the same. So my mom was a nail technician for a good part of her life, from 25 to maybe
20 plus years?
20 plus years, probably 40 something, yeah. So all she did was be a nail technician, and she didn't know nothing but the grind. She started work at 9 in the morning, came home at 10 at night. This is 6 days a week. Wednesdays was an off day. So just keep that in mind as you're working. You're not keeping a mental note of stretching every day. Your body is just sitting in this position, working, grinding around the clock. She had 3 surgeries on her shoulder because of that. Her arm got stuck. She wasn't able to lift up her arm past her shoulders.
Yeah, that's what I had with my torn rotator cuff.
Yeah, so it's very important to stretch and move in each way that your body possibly could. So that's why yoga is one of the better workouts, I would think, to getting everything stretched out right, so your body doesn't get stuck one day and just have to get surgery. My mom had 3 surgeries just because of that. So her physical therapy was just doing regular stretches like this. This is her therapy, her physical therapy. This is the thing that she had to do to get her shoulder and her motion back.
Your mobility, right?
Yeah, her mobility. She couldn't lift up. It's crazy that you could just look at a person, they can't even lift up their hand like this. Such a normal thing to do, but in actuality, people got to pay attention to that. You got to pay attention to your body and what your body telling you. Your body, like you eat too much junk food. When you go to the bathroom, I'm pretty sure your whole toilet is blown up. Like I practiced being a vegan for 2 months. It was so clean, like bliss. I wouldn't even need like toilet paper, but by putting all this junk food in my body, and I noticed like when I use the restroom, the smell would change. all that bad stuff is coming out. I'm telling you, it just skunks up your whole house. And it's like it's you see the pudding, the proof in the pudding, and you smell the proof in the pudding. Like it's crazy.
There's truth to what he's saying right now. I mean, I'm just laughing because I myself I'm guilty for looking at my daughter's poop, because as parents you're kind of trained to look at their color of their poop to see what's healthy or not.
As a dog parent too.
Yeah. So the more it looks like hard and clumpy, like popcorn or whatever it is, that means that they're dehydrated. Could be, constipation, right, involved with that.
Yeah, these are definitely the conversations we need to be having.
Yeah, we need to have that,
sure.
Because, good for the colon in general.
Yeah.
Like, constipation, I mean, it could lead to, what is that thing, that hemorrhoids and whatever. Like,
hemorrhoid, yeah.
Yeah, constipation.
I had a hemorrhoid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Off constipation?
I don't know. I just got it one day. Because they said if you're pushing out too much, it can cause it as well. It could cause your vein or something in there to get injured or something. I don't know. Something down that line. So you can't, because if you have having a problem with it coming out, and you're straining yourself trying to push it out, that's not good. You could definitely
big ass vein on your forehead. Just like
yeah, and the big ass vein down there in your butt too, that you could possibly injure by straining it overusing that force, which is everything. If you overuse force in any which way, you could injure yourself.
So the thing is that when you have very starchy foods and high in fiber, it actually, I don't know, is it high in fiber that causes constipation? Well, I know that the lack of fats, right? If we don't eat enough fats actually makes it easier for us to stool. So if you increase your fat intake, then it'll be easier for you guys to, stay away from the starchy foods like, rice, which is dead calories. There's no point of eating that unless you just want carb up.
But it does fuel you, give you energy. Because once it burns, it gives you energy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, it gives
but
you
it's bad
glucose.
energy. Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just
right.
it's just not nutrition dense. That's all. I mean, when you talk about, okay, what do you translate the word? Let's talk about health, right? Since we're on the subject. How do you translate eating healthy foods? What does that mean to you?
Well, for me, it would be like less sodium, less sugar, natural food, less processed.
When you say natural foods,
less processed, less stuff that goes into your food. So the more natural, the more organic it is, the more clean I would think it is.
I hate the word organic because they use it as a marketing gimmick.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, all organic labels
cost you 3 times as much, and
it's not really truly organic. There's a certain organic thing that they use, and they were able to use that and get that organic sticker. It's a bunch of bullshit too, yeah, for sure. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you can cut your own vegetable and eat it, that's organic, right? I mean, you're watering yourself with pure water or no chemical, no pesticides, blah blah blah. That's organic. So the more clean the food is, the better it comes into your body and out your body, for sure. Like I said, I did the vegan thing for 2 months.
Ooh, that sounds
I was feeling
fun.
Like hella healthy, hella energetic, waking up, sleeping okay. Like it was all the good, right? But
saw a lot of benefits from it.
Yeah, but it's hard to keep up with.
It's expensive. I don't think it's cheap, is it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a little bit more pricey because the cheaper the food, the more bullshit it is, obviously, because you can get a nice little cheeseburger for $1, right? I mean, think about that. Like the mass produced like cheeseburgers in this world, like it's crazy. They could just give it to you for $1. And how they do that? Of course, they're the big supplier. They buy it, they cut out the middleman, they get it for the low, and they pump it out to you for $1. But it's hella processed. It's not. I don't know. There's hella shit pumped into it.
I think we can save that processed food for another subject. I mean, another episode. I think we should do a health episode.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
So back to
and get you back in the gym. So going back to what you were saying earlier about your friend passing away through the aneurysm.
The brain
Yeah,
aneurysm, yeah.
so
So it's just like eating bad, dude. Like,
I actually wanted to add on to that since we're on the subject. He gave me something to talk about. So Carter told me that story after I shared with him my story. So I'm I'm gonna talk about it now. It's because I can now laugh about it.
yeah, we should
So
always be able to laugh at ourselves. That's one great quote I can quote my cousin on.
yeah, so I hate saying it out loud because not much people know about it.
Ain't nobody watching
I
anyway,
know,
so
yes,
that's cool.
nobody's watching.
So
So
remember that one person out there. Just remember to hit that like, subscribe.
so I think I wanted to share this is because uh, actually I don't want to share it, but I'm gonna share it anyway.
That's what's up. Proud of you. Do your thing. Hands sweating like a mother right now.
I know, just thinking about it. I thought I was on my deathbed.
Yeah.
So the good news is I'm no longer on my deathbed.
No, you sitting here live, full
Yeah.
effect.
So the last 6-7 months has been horrific for me. I I thought that I had a tumor or cancer,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. I remember
and
that.
and the way it happened was through the blood work, right? I had got diagnosed with ADHD. I had this blood work for like about 4 or 5 years beforehand, but I kind of swept it under the rug. It's because I guess with people with ADHD, when there's a fire in your ass, then you finally react, right? So if you guys Google DHEAS levels, mine was elevated to like 550, 600. So when you have elevated levels like that, it's either one, Dr. Google says it's a tumor, or two, it's cancer.
Hmm.
So I had it about 555, 600. 700 to 800 is cancer.
Shit.
So the average person has the blood work roughly about 250. I doubled that and some.
Yeah.
So I kept this to myself for quite some time. I didn't even tell my wife until she stumbled upon it. It's because she knew that I was getting blood work done, but she didn't know exactly what it was about. And that morning, when I saw the results to the test, I didn't see that. Sorry, that evening, my wife said to me, "Hey, did you get your blood work back from the medical?" Because during that time, she knew that I was getting blood work done because she told me to go get it done. And because she said, we got medical, you don't even use it. It's just wasting money, and I spend this much and this much, and you might as well do something with it, right? So I knew about that old blood work for quite some time, but I was kind of expecting the worst when I saw it. I said, okay, if it's elevated again, then I'm in some more shit, right? So that morning, I looked and it wasn't there. That evening, when my wife confronted me about it, she said, "Hey, did you do the blood work?" I said, "Did you check the blood work on the app?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I checked this morning. It's not there." She goes, "Hey, give me the phone. Let me take a look at it." So she grabs the phone and she starts looking at it, and she was like, "Whoa, you just got a message from your doctor." I said, "Oh yeah," and then she goes, "Yeah, it's saying it's urgent. Please call back." And I was like, "Oh shit."
Mm-hmm.
And then she was like, "Yo, this is not normal. They usually never ever tell you to respond or call back." So she knew something was up, and then she looked at my face, and I was just kind of like down. I kind of knew something was off, and she was like, "What's going on?" So then I finally kind of broke the news to her, and she was just kind of like, "Nah, you're fine. Nothing wrong with you." So that was actually a part of what led up to my depression, because one, I didn't tell anybody, and then I kept it to myself, right? And I didn't want to look like that crazy dude who was telling the whole world that he was going to fucking die, and he ends up not dying, right? So I was just kind of kept it to myself, but I didn't tell Carter until probably like 4 or 5 months in. And I actually felt a lot lifted when I had told him, because I didn't feel alone anymore. Because when you feel like something is off, and you keep it to yourself, that thing really messes with your head, man. You don't know how to react. You don't get no feedback. You don't know who to talk to, and all you do is just read a whole bunch of nonsense on Google. It's just
Making it worse.
yeah.
Yeah.
So long story short, I started the podcast um, to actually journal, or it was like a video diary for my kids, in a sense, so they can kind of know who their father was. And when I for that for those months, I actually enjoyed the podcast because I was like, yo, this is who I am. I'm not ashamed of it. Only when I was on my deathbed and I thought that I was no longer going to see my future ahead of me, then I finally started to be comfortable with myself. But before that, I couldn't do that. I was always worried about other people and how they thought about me, and what was going on in their minds, and what it would take to please other people. But it wasn't until I thought I was dying that I said, yo, f- it, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, my days are numbered. Let me just do me now. So it was kind of refreshing. I hate to say that word, but to try to steer my life in a better direction, for not just for my kids, but for me. And since then, I just had a different outlook on life. I mean, if you ever want to really make a change in your life, you ask yourself a question like, yo, if you only had a couple more days to live, or a couple more months to live, what would you do? I did it. I did all these things, and I was very happy. I got to reunite with my family in Vietnam, and I got to, start a podcast. I got to change my career path. All that, because of an ADHD diagnosis. But now that I know I'm not dying anymore, this might be our last episode. But realistically, I wanted my kids to know who their father was and not hear it from, other people's mouths and whatnot, and whatever was going on through my mind. But now I'm just happy that, this was just I guess, a phase, or one of those speed bumps that I hit in my life. But I wouldn't ask for it any other way, because if I didn't have that scare, I wouldn't be back at the gym. I would still be drinking like an alcoholic. I was still probably doing a lot of blow. You know, yeah, it just really changed my life because of that scare. Because I wanted to live for my kids. So, it just, I don't wish that anybody else has that same scare, but I'm happy to be able to talk about it now. Is because now it's finally passed, and I can finally move forward.
Yeah,
And
man.
hopefully, we can go a party tonight and do a couple lines, and call it a day.
Yeah. No, but definitely, shit. Just thinking about that, like, my bad too. Like, I wasn't able to like check in more often about that, because I know
No,
you
it's
said
okay.
something about it,
I didn't like talking about it anyway.
but I just remember like we were waiting for
The blood work back.
some shit to come
Yeah.
back and blah blah blah. But yeah, man, thankfully that shit was cool. But yeah, I mean, like you said,
I'm
it's
not dying anymore. Now I gotta take care of those 3 kids I just laid in Vietnam.
well, yeah, I mean, it comes to a point where the way society raised men, I guess you could say, or raised us to be, was very strong, confident, and what's the other word I'm looking for? I don't know, but we're supposed to take all the hits and walk out with our chin high, kind of thing, right?
We're supposed to be the foundation, the rock of everything.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to be
Soft.
not able to be talking about your emotions and the life that we run through every day, the bullshit that comes with it too. So that's one of the main reasons I was happy to do this show, podcast, or whatever too, because it's fucked up that it comes to a point where someone dies around you, where people can kind of let go of their let down their walls and
Let go of the
open
ego.
up.
That's
Let
what
go of
happened
the
with me.
ego,
My
the
walls
pride.
all. I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
learn to be true to yourself, and learn to just be okay with just talking about the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Where there's no judgment being passed, and there's like, because that's how you work things out, man. I mean, if you really think about it, Just sit there and think about it. Like, we only talk about the reality of the world, the life around us when tragic shit happens. And it's fucked up because it could have been different just by talking. You know what I'm saying? Just by opening up with that one person. And it got to him, it got to Jimmy, it got to me, it got to the best of us, all of us at times. You know what I'm saying? So, but the only way through that is going through it head on and just opening up and talking. Like, I feel fucked up today. I feel sad today. To somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or anyone. There's a therapist hotline. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, just letting it go can be such a fucking lift off your shoulders. You don't even know. I was just talking to a close friend of mine, and they were just saying, like, I'm trying to get to that level to just learn how to talk about shit. And it's just like, I'm in a much better place now. I'm thankful for that. And I'm trying to encourage them to talk about it, you know, but it's not natural to people to just talk about their feelings because of the way society raised men to be. We came to be this strong fucking macho man, take on anything, don't give a fucking.
The tough guy mentality.
Keep it walking, you know, keep it moving. But in actuality, we go through shit. So, and excuse my language, it's just like, I just want y'all to feel this with me right now. So it's just like, yeah, like I said, my friend that I was talking to, just catching up, just checking in on each other, and he goes, yeah, I'm just working on that, you know. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm here whenever you need me. You know, I got love for you, nothing but love, it's all love, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, yeah, man, I had to just drive because I was going through some things mentally, just all the stress, you know, built up. It's a fucked up feeling, no question. So he was like, yeah, I was just driving, I just had to let out a fucking scream. And after I let out that scream, it's just, you know, that weight just relief. It just lift off your shoulder. And just imagine you could dial that down to just talking to your boy and bullshit with kicking it with your boy over a brew, over a coffee, whatever it may be. Just to get it out, man, and just laugh about it at the end of the day, right? Just to learn to laugh about it, laugh about the fucked up situation that it is, and learn to move through it together with someone. Because life's hard, man. And it's harder if you keep that shit in by yourself, without the support around you. That's the human race itself. That just shows you who we are as a species on this on Earth. Like we've made it this far because we learned to group together, kill the fucking mammoths and shit like that, right? And build from these rocks and fucking oil, because we fucking united as people and broke it down with each other. And
we're not built to be by ourselves, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. It's like
if you guys watch, what's that movie with
it's the fucking pride in people, man, and the way society raised men to be. We have so much pride and ego. Oh, I don't need nobody help. Fuck that. I could do it on my own. Blah blah blah. But in actuality, everybody, there is some instances people make it on their own. But how you gonna make it without another person putting you in that position or in that play, right? So,
yeah, I mean, we're built to be evolved around tribes.
Exactly.
Right, and I mean, everybody who prides himself about being the lone wolf. I mean, I'm sorry to laugh at you, but what's the point of being on this planet if you're just by yourself all the time and talking to yourself and nobody else?
I mean, you can get a volleyball, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Talk to Wilson, but
call Wilson, yeah.
I mean, bro, that's
one of my all-time favorite movies, by the way.
That movie is so boring. I couldn't even get into it, man.
I don't know what it was. It was just the fact that Tom Hanks was just on his own.
Shout out to Tom Hanks, man. He went to Bret Hart Middle School. That was my middle school I grew up in. You know, anybody can do it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
My dumb ass skipped school.
You could have been.
I blame all the security guards at Bret Hart Middle School. They kept us like so free to just go in and out that motherfucker. I want to make a personal rant right now, man. So back in middle school, this is the first time I was put out into the world, basically, because once I got to 6th grade, that's when all the bullshit started coming, right? Smoking, drinking, cutting school, being bad, all the fucking bad shit that comes out with the world growing up in the hood or whatever you want to call it, right? All the temptation.
Middle school is when
right?
it pops off.
So yeah, I wanted to hang out with the cool kids, you know, do all the cool kids do. My dumb ass. But my mom was so busy grinding, didn't have that mother role to tell me, you know, she did what she had to do. She was a great mom, don't get me wrong. But to avoid temptation and all that, she didn't teach me that. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, I don't even think she even knew that it was like that. In
probably not.
Yeah.
This is her first time in America too.
Right.
Kid you not. So yeah, she don't know what the fuck going on with these American kids, Asian kids. You know, fighting every day. That's what I hear. Growing up with my brothers and my uncles, coming to America, they have to fight for themselves, defend themselves at all times against other races because that's just how fucked up it was. Like people will always get picked on and rob, steal, cheat, whatever. So they have to group up and fend for themselves. But I am thankful for them to go through that because when I went to middle school, I didn't have those race wars. You know what I'm saying? So when I went to school, it was race was cool, but the fucked up thing about Burkhart Middle School was the security guards. I'm calling all y'all out. Like y'all supposed to be these older role models because we fucking little kids. We don't know any better. Instead of opening the gate to let me walk out and cut school, have like a 2-minute conversation because all you doing is patrolling the school area anyway. All you do is patrol the school area, make sure the kids are safe. And by letting us walk out the gate willingly and open the gate for us just to cut out, we thought y'all was cool because we little kids, you know. Hey, Miss whatever, Mr. whatever, hey, can you open up the gate for me? We trying to get up out of here, you know. School waiting for us, whatever it may be, the case may be. But y'all fucked up when y'all should have just listened, ring our ear for like 30 seconds. You know, why y'all don't want to go back to school or something? You know what I'm saying? Learn something.
A lot of them, I mean.
Well, a lot of them.
I'm not going to justify anything, you know, but the thing is, how many times have you heard this is above my pay grade, right? Especially with security guards. Like, they have to risk whatever it is that they put out. I mean, I don't know what you call it, put their life on the line. The security guards, right? What is their job?
To keep the kids safe. That's what I would think. They're being a security guard. You should take some pride in your work. A lot of people don't. I get that. They don't give a fuck. They're just showing up getting checked. I get that too.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't just show up to work and appreciate the work that they do and like the work that they do because, yeah, probably the percentage I know is high as fuck that people don't really enjoy their line of work, right? That's what I'm thinking. So they're just showing up, catching an easy check.
For what I've noticed security guards usually do is they try to stop fights from happening.
Yeah, I get that too.
That's the only thing that I've seen them be, I don't know what good for, but that's what I would think that's on the job title. Right, to stop any type of things that teachers can't stop or whatever not. But, you know, the thing is that he actually opened the gate for you guys to get the hell out.
He and she.
Yeah, he and she. Opened the gate for that. So I don't really know. But
they're supposed to be like, get your ass back into class, you know, go learn something. Give me a good fucking positive, what you call that, quote or something. I don't know. But like, that shit was hella weak. And I just looked back on that and was just like, that shit was hella weak. Being a human being, like looking at these little ass baby kids, like, yay high. I used to drive by my middle school, I'm like, damn, I was that small? Well, we was like literally like 2 feet. How can you, being a grown ass man, woman, look at this little kid and let him walk out to go cut or walk out to go smoke cigarettes or smoke weed and not have any care about that? That was the fucked up thing about it that I thought about. And these security guards are older, much older. They were like OG older. Like they were there like 3 generations before me. And not have some kind of human attachment to that. And
how old is OG?
There's one security called Mr. Obi or something. Mr. Obi, yeah.
And how old is he?
He was old. He was there 3 generations before me. My older cousin, my older brother, and then me. So
he's your age.
No, he had white hair. So probably when I was in middle school, he was probably like 40, something like that. He was old, bro. So he was at least like 60, 70 now. But it's just a trip, man. Going up in, I don't know about all the other schools around Oakland, but I mean, Oakland's a pretty low poverty. I mean, you know, it's a lot of low income, low poverty, I guess. Well, what's the word for it? Yeah. But it's a lot of
so if you watch right now,
families,
security guards, fuck you. That's it.
Man, just do better, man. Just do better. If you still fucking being security guard over there, do better to these little kids, man. That's all I'm saying. It only take like a second to say something positive in their life.
I honestly don't even think that the kids nowadays are the same like the back in the days.
Oh,
of the
probably
90s.
not,
No,
for
it's
sure.
Totally different
But
thing. So
every
I don't
era
think,
is different.
I don't think they worry about cutting school. They go to school and just play with their phones. What they're probably doing right now is just snatching phones and worrying about people stealing from other people's lockers or something. That's what they're.
I mean, they still gonna go through their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, just do better. That's my little rant. That's all.
Okay.
My bad.
Now, all good. Now we're gonna get back on track because we're like an hour and 12 minutes in. We haven't even talked about our subject.
Addiction.
So
we talked about it a little bit.
No, we didn't talk. We talked about Post Malone and how much he looked like a crackhead and he had diabetes. That's not even.
Yeah, so people were taking diabetes. People are taking supposedly this diabetes pill that makes them lose weight, and supposedly that's my wife said he might be taking that from what she saw on social media. So yeah, I don't know, but I mean, like I said, good for him for dropping the weight. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing.
He just looks.
And it's
healthier, but people are calling him, whatever.
Yeah, it's just natural. Some people just naturally fucking haters, dude. Like they immediately
call people crackheads.
Are quick to judge, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it should be no judgment as first and foremost, and just look at them as a human being, as much as you can.
Very true.
But when they cross the line, they cross the line. There's nothing else you can do about that. But in actuality, just try to be more positive, man, and focus that attention on no judgment and all the other shit, you know what I'm saying? Because people on social media, yeah, are a lot of trolls. They do it for the fun, for the laughs, for the dumbass laughs, but they don't know like people's feelings are actually getting hurt by it, right? And like I said with the like thing, we didn't realize, but people just on social media I feel like to escape reality and just have fun with it and enjoy themselves, right? And not think about the bullshit. So they don't even think about the likes. Pushing the like button, how much that could play a factor in
for the person that's viewing it and watching it, yes, their thing is. For the other side, the other spectrum is the one that is initiating the conversation, which is the one posting or the one putting the stuff out there, and they're not getting that type of love or that feedback that a lot of people are wanting. I mean, come on, I'm gonna lie to you, man. When I first started Facebook, like X amount of years ago, I don't know how long, 10 plus years ago, when I post something back then, I'd be sitting there and I'd be waiting for that first like. Just sitting there, waiting for the acknowledgement.
Yeah,
and it never happened. And guess what happened? I just hit the delete button right after.
Yeah.
Because it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and nobody else wants to hear you rant about you and whatever it is and what type of bullshit that you're going to do. So I realized that I had to stop ranting because it wasn't getting any likes, right? Because Facebook is not, social media shouldn't be a platform for you to write Dear Diary how much you hate your life, right? So that's one. So, but if you're doing something positive and you're doing something where you're trying to get the acknowledgement of other people, try not to get your feelings hurt when you don't get that like, or subscribe.
It's addiction, bro.
It is addiction because you know why? When you hear that ding, that bell icon, which you guys can hear
right
now.
You feel good about yourself.
You do. You feel like somebody just patted you on the back and said, good job, man. We're watching.
And what does that tell you? Immediately, what does that tell you? That tells you that people feel good when people are positive towards each other, right? That's bottom line what it is. Like, I like that shit you did that day. I'm going to press that like button. You feel good about yourself. That's natural what we went through. But in actuality, you have to know that too much of anything is bad for you. So, one, being social media driven, like, you're driven by these likes and shit, and it fucks with your mind, your mental state. So
I hate to say it, but this is the reality of our future.
Yeah. So that's why I was telling you. Even the most popular people don't even get that much likes. So you just have to know people when they get onto social media, they just go to escape. They don't understand that like button could have been something, but they just scrolling through. They're just scrolling through, not knowing that this could be meaningful. That's why when I go on social media, I'm constantly liking people's shit just because of the fact because I never want them to feel that type of way.
You want to give them that free dopamine hit.
Yeah, but people have to train their minds for this shit too, and it's not healthy. So that's why, in moderation is key, and you have to teach that to your kids.
So speaking of dopamine, which is the reason why people are addicted to certain things.
Yeah.